can give us our recap while I do my last minute.
A recap,
Uh,
the best part of the session.
let's see. So uh, this is when we arrive at back at town, and Lady Brianna is freaked out, asking if the beastmen are gone. She mentions that they've been trying to get into the castle. We meet the jester gnome at the inn, Ramon, for the very first time, and his strangeness. Um, uh, Jean goes to see Matilda, and Matilda's wary of Lady Brianna for some reason. Doesn't want to see her. Uh, Jean tries to figure out why, but Matilda doesn't want to relive the past. Jean respects her wishes, gets healed, and leaves. Matilda does mention that her worldview will not let Lady Brianna come near her. Meanwhile, Lady Brianna, Rutherford Rass, they try to get Lady Brianna to speak of why Matilda was wary of her. She just simply says that she's like not invited. While coming back to the town, Jean notices the snow is piling up. The guards are more alert. She investigates Dahlia's place. She only finds a raw deer leg that's been gnawed on. That's kind of the only thing that stands out. Ras talks to Ramon about the town, and Genevieve informs the group of what she knows. The group talks about their next action, trying to figure out how to deal with the town's tilth. Ramon meets Matilda later on in secret, without the rest of the group, seemingly hinting that they work for the same people. She says an interesting Roman phrase. They talk about something that ancient that lives in the mountain. And it seems like they'll be talking to each other another time. We don't know. Elja talks to Ras, uh, reiterating the deal she made with Alexandre about her family's freedom and how she's helping with the tilth. It ended with her giving, I think, money to Ras. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like 50 gold.
Yeah, 50 gold. That's right.
Yeah. So let's see. The group goes back to the trail to find Alexandra's body. They find little pieces, but nothing else. They managed to find a trail that led to the river, and they can figure out that these beastmen probably chopped down some trees and made it across the river to where the mine is. They discuss course of action. That's when the group decides to head back and decide to face Algier, who we think is the Green Man, and find him with Amelia holding her captive. Him and Jean get into a huge argument. He speaks about how Jean's mother told the hunter that he could be the god of the forest, and that like it was her fault essentially that all this started. We let him leave. Group decides that maybe Jean's mother is the solution to all these problems, and that they need to assault the Beastmen. Jean and Ramon manage to scout, and they see that 10 to 15 Beastmen with Dahlia. They're making crude weapons, and they're all drinking. And then our initial plan that we discussed last session was possibly to get a cask of mead, play it as a shipping arsenal or cart that we're taking out of town, and letting the beastmen attack it because the mead is has poison or more moonshine. We don't stuff like that.
Yep, the above.
And that's how we ended the session with that plan.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. And let's jump right in tonight with our pre-attack we'll assume a maneuver to leave out these casks was successful. However, it was set up, perhaps maybe left on the edge of town unguarded. Whatever the case was, it was snatched in the middle of the night before the morning of the attack. Which will bring us to the morning and your soldiery, the conscripts and the few trained recruits have all gathered in the town and are ready to make their way to the mines. Tell me what you guys are doing and what any, if any, last minute preparations you want to make.
God. Let me just check. Okay.
Rasmussen, do you have ammo?
I do. I have. Let me check. I have 6 shots left.
Alright, cool. I have 3 plus 1.
Does anybody want the hunting bow? Cause I don't have like arrows for it, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no arrows then.
What's the reload time on the bow, if you don't mind my asking?
The hunting bow?
Yeah.
It should be I think it's either a 1 or a 0.
But the hunting bow, is that considered a martial ranged weapon?
It is a simple range.
I'm not trained in that either. Okay.
I'm not trained in it, so I wasn't gonna use it.
I do have simple ranged.
If you want, I can give it to you. But you'll need arrows for it, I think. So.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll skip that. I have a pistol and 1 throwing knife. It should be fine.
All right.
How much laudanum do you have?
I have 2.
Who is a person that is most likely going to need one of those?
It really, I don't know. Could be anyone, really.
I'm gonna guess that Rasmussen and Rutherford are going to be sticking together, so one of us should have one.
No, you don't say.
I was gonna say that Rasmussen should probably have it since he can't really move.
Well, I'm certainly not going to object, but I don't personally feel like it would be of particular value for Rasmussen to have it over Rutherford. But I mean, if you need the space in your inventory, I'll happily take it. It's not a.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know what the red cap mushroom does?
Kills people.
Have it now.
Kills people, probably.
Alrighty.
Pretty sure it's poison.
Did I make sense? I just put that in the mead.
Only venoms kill things. Poisons. Poison. Alright, effect when affected by 1 dose, add +1 to damage threshold for 3 hours. When affected by 2 dose, add +2 to damage threshold for 6 hours. 3 doses plus 3 damage threshold for 9 hours. So that'd probably be a good thing to put in the barrel, but
Yeah,
GM
that makes them harder to kill.
That makes it
damaging
hard.
them?
Damage threshold
Oh.
goes up, makes it go up. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
so that's a good thing for us.
Yeah, I have 1.
Well, you better eat that and start tripping balls and cutting people up.
Oh God.
I'm gonna make it a point to stay away from her in battle.
Okay, so who wants a laudanum? Who wants to carry it?
Give one to Rasmussen, and then you and Ramon can stick together. You know, like buddy system, but we'll have the soldiers there too.
I don't think we can buy more laudanum, right?
Well, we might be able to procure some from the town, Skarnsburg, but I don't think laudanum's the kind of thing we're going to find in this backward village.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we'd have to order it.
Okay. So yeah, I give one away. So I only have 1 on me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe laudanum is something like absinthe mixed with heroin or opium or something.
It's like
yeah.
one of those old morphine, cannabis, alcohol tincture things that would just get you super messed up that you took for colds. You're supposed to take it for colds, but you would just take it because you're a drug addict. And it was legal.
Right. Speaking of which, Nick, we're removing the folkbane and whatever else we're putting into the thing from our inventory, right? Just to keep track.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And how many of the soldiers in quotes are you guys bringing? Is it all 15 plus Mar, so 16, I suppose?
Well, that's up to Fluff. They're under her command.
I thought we were just taking 10.
Okay.
We should leave the captain dude, I guess, because he has skill in warfare, so we would need someone at town who knows what they're doing, essentially.
Are you gonna leave him with your conscripts or your good recruits or the recruits?
That's the tough part. Can I have?
Well, alternately, we might bring him with us, given that if he actually knows how to fight, that would be awfully useful to have.
Yeah, but that leaves like the town vulnerable too.
Yeah.
It does. It does. It's your call.
Well, I figured if hopefully our plan works, then it should be okay.
How
Right?
can it possibly fail? Come on.
Yeah, I'll leave them. I'll leave them, and I'll take 10 men.
Okay. Of those 10 you're taking, are you taking all the decently drilled troops?
I'm gonna take some of the decently drilled troops with some of the townsfolk training. So it's gonna be half and half. It's possible. I don't remember how many of the decently drilled were there. I forgot.
You have 5, so we'll do 3. We'll take 3 and.
Well, here's my take on it, and you can feel free to dismiss it. You've got how many conscripts? I think you said 5 or 6?
10. She's got 10.
10. Okay, 10 conscripts. But of those, how many of them are actual veterans? Like, how many of them know what they're?
The conscripts, I mean, they fought the Ziegenhelds and the Beastmen before because they lived in the village, but no, like true veterans. The only true veteran you have is Mar Grunstock.
Yeah, even though trained ones are like considered like green, they're like no babies.
Okay, so that's what I wasn't clear on, because however many of them you choose to bring with us, that's going to be another notch in their belt, so to speak. So you're going to have slightly more experienced troops at the end of this, which may prove useful down the line. So the more of them you bring, the more of them gain the experience. But of course, the more exposed to death and maiming they become.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with 10.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
And are you bringing Grensock or are you leaving him?
I'm leaving him.
Yeah, you have the 10 you fix to come out. They are all uh, um, they look nervous, but they're ready to go. Uh, it's still early morning, as I believe you determined that would probably be the best time to move. Uh, yeah, they're ready to go. Anyone have any last minute thing? Any last minute things? Now's the time. But they're anxious to leave, and they are arrayed before you in sort of a rough marching.
Hey, I'm gonna go for like 15 minutes, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to bounce a little bit.
Yeah, I have a question about this map of the mine that we have. So I remember that it took us to a dead end, but it also took us to the what is it called? That room, that chamber. It was some kind of rest chamber underground where that I tried to arrest Brutus unsuccessfully. Is there anything else on it that sticks out? If you still have any info on it, or are we just gonna go play? If we go into the mine, are we just gonna go play that by ear or whatever?
Yeah, we'll play that by ear, but at least you'll kind of have a rough idea of where you're going.
Yeah. So just probably like a +10 to awareness or whatever for finding our way, something like that.
Hmm.
Now, had we discussed whether we wanted our approach to be over land or by river?
Yeah.
We talked about it, but the boat port space isn't there, so there was just a little dinghy.
All right, and that's not going to be enough to bring us all there.
Yeah, but there was the path along the river for the donkey, four spaces donkey. So we could use that, or we can go use the main road, or we can go across the bridge.
Well, I'm also seeing that there are a number of hills near the mine. I'm wondering if maybe we can use those to our advantage.
If there's no, if there's no like concealment, like trees or shrubbery on the hill, then it would probably be a detriment because whatever lookouts they have would see us. So I think it would be probably the best to go along the river because then you'd have the majority of the forest in between you and whatever lookouts they have, or alternatively just go across the bridge. But then you run the risk of having people fall on the river if you go across the bridge.
Right, right.
Um, so in the morning before, maybe while the rest of you are getting ready in the tavern, while Fluff is out making sort of last minute preparations, Lady Brienne has started making a fuss about the proposed ball that is supposed to be, as she is claiming tonight. She is going to find Rasmussen, and when she approaches you, she begins demanding to know precisely what plans you have for us tonight, and what kind of festivities will be there, so she knows how to appropriately dress.
Festivities. Is tonight the night of the festival? I
I
kind of
have
lost.
so many good ideas for this, but I guess that's
Yeah.
on you now, Rasmussen.
Well, my lady, the truth of the matter is, I haven't had time to ponder the festivities all that well. I've been preoccupied with other weightier matters in service to Lord Rutherford. However, if you wish, I can certainly put you in touch with him, and he'll be more than happy to provide all the answers you seek.
She says, I demand it immediately. My friends are getting restless, and we were promised a grand ball.
Indeed, my lady. Just a few moments. I'll get Lord Rutherford post haste. Yes, post haste, and I'll go find Rutherford. And when I do, I tell him very succinctly, the crazy lady is looking for.
Yes, of course. That wonderful, that wonderful crazy lady.
She'll want to discuss tonight's festivities.
Ah, yes, I remember that now. Well, I do have a couple ideas that might delight her, and might delight her very much. So, take me to where she is.
By all means. I lead him back to Lady Brienne or Brianna rather, and with a flourish, I introduce once again Lord Rutherford, and he'll be happy to answer any of her august questions.
She looks at you and demands to know what festivities have you planned for tonight?
Tonight will be not just a celebration of the tithe and the harvest and the year. It will be a celebration of battle. Today, we're going to destroy these beastmen from their hive. We will bring back the trophies of their bodies. We will line the streets with their heads, and we will have the most wonderful ball for you and your friends and your father and the town.
She looks for a moment and she says, I expect nothing but the best for you to finally this battle that my father so bravely started. Um, this being the downstairs of the inn, uh, Marcia Ziegenhelt also decides to bust in at this point, uh, screaming about demanding to know, um, first off, where Alexandre is, and secondly, um, why there has been the nobody has come to see about the priest. Nobody has come to help repair her farm or village, and she has begun screaming. And Lady Brienne looks at her momentarily before looking at you and saying, "The problems of the peasant rabble, am I right, Lord Rutherford?"
They're my peasants, so They are my problem. Their problems are my problems as well. As for this one, her home has been destroyed by the beasts. The priest has abandoned us. Her witch son has gone missing.
Oh, which
I can
son?
only pity.
So unfortunate. They have two witches in one village.
Two witches.
That awful Matilda in her hut. You saw the markings. Clearly a witch. I wouldn't be surprised if it was her that brought the beastmen back here.
Well, if she is a witch, she is a benevolent person, and I feel that she harbors no ill will towards anyone in this village. And also, her markings, she has said, protect her from the beasts. And whatever she in the mountains is,
She makes a harumph noise.
I just realized who she is.
What, Marcia?
Brianna?
Yeah,
Well, that'll be good information to have down.
yeah.
For you, Lady Brianna, the peasant rabble will not disturb you during tonight's festivity.
She said, excellent. You should take care of the shouting one. She displeases me.
As she does me, believe me.
This is something that Fluff would have to take care of. I don't know much of a way to deal with Marcia besides locking her in the church.
She does come up to you eventually, and she says, "Didn't you say you were a priest, old?"
I am Father Lord Rutherford.
That still cracks me up.
She says, "Well, we've missed our weekly services and all these damned souls, and I still haven't seen my son Jeb."
Well, your priest abandoned you. Your son abandoned you. Perhaps you should rethink your priorities.
Make an arduous charm roll.
And my neighbors are now doing what my neighbors do.
I don't think that I will. And she slams something down. She says, "This whole town's going to hell."
It's going to hell because some damn creatures from the mines and your damn son going and doing stuff that he shouldn't have done, and Alexandre not solving any problems and just sweeping them under the rug until the entire town imploded on itself.
Now you're just talking shit.
She seems upset by this and says, you don't know anything.
I know more than you know. You have no idea. Your son has been in so much trouble. I've seen him in the capital. Don't lecture me.
He'll come back for me, and he'll make you pay too.
Well, we'll see how fast he comes back. And we'll see which one of us gets to go and see the God Emperor.
She slams her foot and steps out, yelling at some local village, berating them for their lack of faith before returning to the church.
Now, was there any corruption gained from that? Is pretending to be a priest again? What is that, 5?
Oh, I think that's a minor blasphemy. Just two. Take 2.
That has to be my favorite. Fake priest that can't read.
I wish you could have given a sermon.
I have a lot of lore.
Yeah. So the rest of the village at the moment seems pretty on edge, especially seeing the troops or the soldiery marshaling. Um, you get a general sense of like there's a lot of fear, and there's not enough food to pay the tithe tomorrow. There's not enough goods. Um, so just in general, the town seems even more glum than usual.
So meat is a lot more expensive than grain, right?
Yeah.
How many wagons can we take to the mines?
Well, along the short trail, not many, but otherwise, there's probably like 3 or 4 different wagons in the village you could uh, commandeer.
If we could bring back some bodies of the beastmen, butcher them up and send those in addition to the gold.
Sure, poison the
Think,
capital. Why not?
yeah, I don't think the uh, the the meat will be an acceptable substitute for your tithe.
There's a thought.
Yeah, that is. The tithe is legally due in a certain way. If it follows a historical precedent, like grain is a substitute for money in some cases.
What about mead?
We can't sell meat.
Wait, we need the mead, or else the town is gonna die from dehydration.
No,
anyway,
I mean
right?
we can't sell it because there's a legal loophole that's being enacted by Genevieve's family that we can't sell meat out of the town. That's why her family is rich.
Well, it wouldn't be selling it, right?
Well, I
Because a
mean,
tithe is like a tax,
why don't you
not a
read
sale.
the legal papers to me and tell me what they say? Because I think if someone makes a profit off of it, then they have precedent to push back on us. And being the only money-making people in town, we probably don't want to upset the boss family.
Well, we're gonna have to at least bring some heads back.
For what?
The ball.
Okay, Goblin King.
I'm just the things I do for love.
The things you do for love.
And booty.
Well, this is why you don't tell every woman you meet you love them.
Well, I guess that's one way.
We're just forgetting that Carla's just out there alone in the forest.
I didn't forget. Just not part of my plans anymore.
She's probably just starved to death waiting out there.
Well, someone is helping her survive.
You watched Until Dawn, or played Until Dawn, right?
No, I only play like games like Civilization or Hearts of Iron, RimWorld,
Stellaris is
simulation
my game
strategy
of choice.
games.
We got a group that plays it as well. Anyway, that's just my guess of what's going on there. She got somebody up there. Doesn't mean anything to you though, so.
What if Selma turns Carla into the forest god?
Well, then we cut her head off and then run from the swell of liquid goo that she becomes afterwards. Really, I'm just confused what happens at the forest god at the end of that movie. Look, if you can't keep up with the movie references, I don't know what you're going to say.
Oh yeah, another question. Is Battle at the Mines timer?
Yes.
Or there was
So I'll go ahead and explain this, even though Fluff isn't here. I'm sure she'll figure it out. Basically, if that fills up, we can assume you won the battle at the mines and broken any beastmen active resistance. If it falls to zero, um, goes away, then we assume that the soldiers you brought have broken and are going to run the town as fast as they can.
so we're already pretty close to routing.
Yeah, actually, I gave you essentially a free square for preparations. So you can look at it close to routing or a head start on winning.
Is it really that
To
start?
be honest,
We had discussed trying to smoke them out of the mine, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like
Any
one of the
idea?
first things.
well, the problem with that is if there's another opening, then smoking them out wouldn't really do much.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
also, if there wasn't an opening and you were smoking it out, then if there was someone in there like Selma, then they would most likely die,
Yeah,
and then we would
yeah.
have to wait for all the smoke and carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and all that junk to clear out. So we would have to wait like a couple weeks at minimum.
Yeah, no, I remember that we had ruled out the smoking out precisely because if there is a hostage in there, we don't want to inadvertently kill.
Also, you have to get to the mine. They seem to be mostly from Fluff's scout report or what she saw, they mostly seem to hang out outside the mine, right in front of it.
Right.
Yeah, they got like I imagine like there's the entrance on the mine, and then there'd be the barracks on one side of the mouth, and then on the other side of the mouth there would be whatever building Brutus was drinking in, and then there was like the hitching posts. So I guess there'd be just like some kind of like compound in the middle with the makeshift barricades and like kind of like a semicircle or whatever. That's what I've got in my head from what I remember from like the second session. I think it was the second session.
Yeah.
Well, it's online on YouTube, so you can find out if you're right or not.
It's like playing a video game, uploading a video of it, and then watching your video unironically. Wait, do you edit the stuff that goes on YouTube to like make it shorter? Or
Not typically, no. I clip it down so that it's an hour or so a piece. And then I add an opener and an ending card. That's about it. I don't usually edit anything unless there's like a big old problem in the middle of it. Or I've had to break up something like there's a technical difficulty and I have to join two parts back together. That's usually the most I do. I have a giant backlog of videos to put out. That's why there's been 2 videos a day right now. That way, whenever the new computer does arrive, I have less stuff to transfer. Somebody was talking about trying to edit them out to be a podcast. So, getting rid of all of the quiet parts, adding music and whatnot. But I would need to add somebody else as an editor. Because I certainly cannot get that done on my own. Not in a timely manner, anyway. Yeah, so this giant quiet spot, it's gonna be in here. People are gonna hear this.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually trying to think of something, but like not a lot makes sense to happen right now in terms of like actual things.
Yeah, if Alexandre was still alive, I'd be around making political maneuverings right about now.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, our resident political person doesn't have to maneuver because he's been given authority to just do what he wants. So he doesn't have to play that game.
Yeah,
The-
just a whole heap of authority.
that was that couldn't have ended any better for Rutherford.
Well, I mean, so you think.
Yeah, I actually don't know if that's true.
It's gonna end horribly. I'm gonna hang.
I mean, on the face of it, it looks great. At the same time, it's like, I guess it's like somebody won like $1 million, right? And you find out that the $1 million that you won comes from some like mafia thing, or it also comes with all these other loopholes that you have to do to get it, and they're all bad. You've gotten this authority, but there's all this other stuff that's expected of you that you didn't quite know about, and now it's all going to come down on your head.
I'll talk my way out of it. It'll be fine.
Some people you just can't talk to, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in some ways, Alexandre was probably doing more to protect you than you would have realized. But also not. So,
You can't play all my cards, man. I might be dead, but you can't play all my cards.
Play,
You're playing Uno. I was playing Magic the Gathering. I'm tapping lands, I'm sending out units. I got a Planeswalker on the field. You've tapped shift left. In yellow.
I put down a blue skip. Okay.
No, see, man, you're gonna be playing draw 4, and I'm gonna be like, that only helps me.
playing Magic, and he's playing
Yeah.
Uno.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You play a draw 4 card, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that's... So actually, here's what we'll do. In that same morning, because this is Tithe Day, um, Horseface returns to town on his boat, and he has a visitor who is asking after um, for Alexandre or Ritter von Rutherford. The man is a middle-aged gentleman, fairly well dressed, and he's not he's not armed, I should say. And he's speaking to Lucius in the bottom of the inn.
I'm going to sneak upstairs and change into my fancy clothes.
Why are you not wearing your fancy clothes right now?
Because I'm going to battle. I can only wear my nice clothes to battle.
Alexandre wore all of his nice clothes everywhere.
I only wear beautiful clothes. But I have to save the best.
For a stranger. Assume
I
that everybody you meet is important, and just wear your best all the time.
The beastmen aren't important. They're going to ruin my clothes.
But you might meet a knight on the road.
Well, then that will just have to happen, and I'll just look fancy.
Footloose and fancy furry.
Yeah, so while you're changing, Lucius explains that Alexandre was killed. And the man looks slightly upset. But he just sits to wait. He looks very impatiently around. About how long does it take Rutherford to change?
Like, you
Well,
cover yourself
I
up a little
mean,
bit.
I don't know how long it takes other people to get undressed and dressed, but
5 to 6 minutes.
I'd say like 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're probably practiced at this.
Yeah.
Is Ramon hanging around?
I just assume I'm around Rutherford all the time. Even when he doesn't want me to be. Also, can you still turn yourself up a little bit? I turned you up all the way on my end, and I can't get you any louder.
Okay. Yeah, I'll turn on my.
Oh yeah, is Rasmussen still carrying you?
Is Rasmussen still carrying Ramon? You mean?
I
Yeah.
assume not, since it's been over a day.
I don't think so.
I figure you're just gonna turn into like a tumor on him.
I mean, if that was the case, I'd assume at that point I'm probably like strangle holding him from the back. Just always arms around the neck. Carry me!
No.
Here, do I sound better, Theta? Coming through louder?
A little bit lower. I mean, it's good volume, but it's at the volume that I'm hearing the air in your background. My problem was that I had you up like 200% and full volume on my headset, but you were coming like high whisper.
Does that sound better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, good. Yeah. So the stranger sees you, Ramon, and he says, "Ah, wonderful! This small town has entertainment."
Indeed it does. What is your name, fine sir?
I am Gregor Malor.
Well, you can Gregor my balls.
He chuckles at you and he says, "Oh, how I enjoy the cryings of a fool."
I bet you do. You look like you got your ears to the ground, like some sort of rabble.
Tell me, is your lord around so I may speak to him?
Yes, I believe he's in his pantaloons right now. Give him a moment. He's weird about being dressed around people.
Oh, well, it is good that he takes the time to appear as proper to an important figure like myself.
Whoa, whoa, say it, don't spray it.
We can assume at this time, Rutherford, you finish when you see the figure sitting in the bottom of the inn. He notices you and he goes, "Oh, Lord Rutherford,
Yes, and who might you be?
I am Gregor Malorn, the newly appointed taxman of Croft Eltham."
Ah, wonderful. A man, power. Nice to see someone else here.
"Yes, I'm here about the tithe owed to your leave."
Ah, yes, yes, the tithe. What do we owe this year?
He lists an amount of food and grain equivalent to about 500 gold. And he remarks that Graf Eltham has seen it fit to slightly raise this year's tithe to assist in the war effort, of course.
Hmm. He mentioned the war effort, right?
Yes.
Okay. The war. It's horrible. It's even hit this village.
Yes. There's an unfortunate defeat at Treffenheim. Unfortunately, sets us back quite a way.
Yes. There's been attacks here as well. In fact, I don't think the village is going to make it through the winter. The savages have come and burned our fields, our homes, and our grain. All we have now is gold and a battle to be fought
This
in the
far,
name of Graf
which,
Eltham.
this far north. Who is? Do you know who is attacking you? Common band.
These are no bandits. These are monsters. Creatures. Creatures that the God Emperor would weep if he witnessed what these mad beasts do. They've taken our people. They abuse them. They've just killed the lawman of this town.
Oh, this. Uh, It's always unfortunate in times of war when banditry hits the peasantry.
Yes. Well,
Unfortunately, the tithe is still due.
indeed it
But
is. What we can do is today we are going into battle. And depending on the outcome, either the threat of these foes will be re- removed and no more forces will be needed at this front. But if we fail, a tide of darkness will descend upon the entire area. So, what we can do is give you what little gold we have, 50 pieces. After the battle, we will have enough for the rest, which will be at the end of the day.
have taken that much.
They've taken everything.
Best yet, though, if we all die in battle, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, make a guile roll plus 10%.
If we all die in battle, who gives a fuck about the tithe? We won't be here to pay it.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, I was trying to
that's what I was
squash
trying to
down
get
every.
across.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's my job is to squash down everything you say to get rid of all the bullshit. That's what I'm here for. I tell the truth that must be spoken.
Who's making that roll?
You are.
You are. Yes, he goes, well, I hope it will come. I hope you will have success then. Give me the money. If this is all you can muster, surely you will know that Graf Eltham will have no choice but to come here and forcefully take it. It would be a sign of rebellion, and in these times we can afford that not.
Yes, I'm very aware. Now, for your safety, you might want to depart for at least the day. Or if we fail
Unfortunately,
this, the town will be ransacked, and your
he
safety cannot be guaranteed.
can't make another guile. Well, it's probably not even guile because that's actually truth. Make a charm plus 10% routine.
I mean, to be fair, at the same
What
time,
class? This guy isn't lowborn, is he?
He is not a commoner, but he is not an aristocrat either. He's a burgher.
Okay, so I can use the plus 20 from my silver tongue talent,
Yes.
and then it would be routine.
Yes.
at the same time, though, this guy's just as likely to die on the road right now as he is to stay
Oh
in
my
town and
god.
die.
How'd I fail that? Fuck.
He says, no, I have to stay here. Graf Eltham demands it, so I shall do it. It's not good for a taxman to fail in his duties.
Well, you've been warned.
So, tell me, has any news of the recent battle reached here?
No, we have not received any news. We haven't received any news in weeks.